Boards and booze, booze and boards, drinks and beers, fight some hordes. Drank too much, forgot our swords, ran back home, filled our gourds, got drunk again, sang some chords. Boards and booze and boards, with Mickey and Jeb.
It's a secret, Jeb. Say hello.
Hi everybody, Booze and Boards with Mickey and Jeb. Something's a secret apparently.
The game we're playing.
Well, I know what it is.
I know, but they don't. Seventh continent. What do you got to say about that, Jeb?
It was all purgatory in the last episode.
Anyways.
Hope you guys don't watch Lost. Or how old is that?
It's Seventh Continent.
Yep.
Is a Kickstarter from. It took them a while to deliver it. But anyways, if you follow gaming, you probably heard of it. It's pretty popular right now. I'm the one that kickstarted it. We've already played a short round through, and guess who jumped on the bandwagon after playing it? Anyways, so it's by Serious Pulp.
Yep.
And the creators are, here we go again with not knowing who the creators are because it's not on the box. Why do you do this to me, Joe? Why do you do this to me?
Because it's fun to watch you.
Watching the struggle is real. Who do we have for creators of this game? Ludwig Rowdy and Bruno Sauter.
I told you that. I don't know why you didn't believe me.
Anyways.
This isn't actually in retail, right? It's only been available on Kickstarter?
I do not know if any places have it available for retail. Okay. So I do not know. The premise of the game is you're explorers. Mm-hmm. You are returning to the 7th continent because everybody in your party, and it's a solo game too, so it only has to be one, is cursed. And you're trying to lift the curse from yourself. And the way that you do that is exploring the island to get to wherever you need to be able to lift the curse from yourself. And the way you do this is, you basically start out at it's a card-based game. You start out on a certain card, and then by the game mechanics, you move around and you kind of create the island as you go along, and you have a lot of choices to make. It's very much been compared to a choose your own adventure book. I would kind of agree with that to an extent, because if you remember those, it was like you'd read a little bit, you'd get to a certain point in the book, and then it would say, if you do this, go to page such and such, and if you do this, go to page such and such. Sort of the same thing with here, because like say I'm going in one direction, and I do whatever I need to do to go in that direction, and I'm successful in going in that direction, it will tell me to go get this card, put it out, and it'll be a new piece of the map. So it's very, very cool that way. The box literally says that it has 1,000+ hours of play. Based on our short trial run to try to get the feel for the mechanics, I'm probably not doubting it. With there being 4 courses and how far we got when we played for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we had, we did look some stuff up and things like that. But anyways, that's the premise of the game. And I don't know what more to tell you about it until we start showing you the components and et cetera, et cetera. Jib?
One thing we need to let you know is that this, I guess, not the gameplay portion, like explaining it, but when we actually play the game, it's going to contain some spoilers.
Yes.
So that's just something we need to like throw out there, just in case you don't want to know. If you
don't want to know everything, just watch up through mechanics and then jump in yourself. I think we'll have we're going to be able to go over that pretty clearly.
Yeah.
With some of the mechanics, you might see some of the cards, but you won't know where you're gonna get them and all that kind of stuff and things like that. We'll try to be very careful when we're talking about throughout mechanics and components and things like that. We'll try to be very careful about not revealing anything that'll ruin the game for you. Of course, there's only so much. I mean, the game's not even. We didn't finish it, so we don't even know that much, and we're probably going to. What we've decided is we're probably going to play close to where we played the first time, and show you, how the game has a save mechanism and how to do that and things like that, and then we're probably just going to, continue playing our own game afterwards. That being said, like I said, this is a Kickstarter version. That's all. Jeb, can you grab that? Show them where all the other stuff that you could have got with it. There were multiple expansions, which were these 3 expansions, and those were little.
These have like miniatures.
Yeah, they have miniatures and stuff. I don't know if they were full-blown expansions. Like this one is facing the elements, so that adds like a tornado thing. And this one was Fear the Devourers, which added like a monster thing.
I think this was like a mini expansion.
And that like mini expansions. When most of the time when you're using the word expansion to these, it's probably adding like a new curse, because like I told you at the beginning of this, that's what you're doing. One of the other unique things is though that you can combine the curses and make a super long game. Anyways, probably crossing over into some of the other areas that we're going to talk about, so we will go right into components, and you guys will get to see that, and I'm guessing that'll probably pique your interest. So, anyways, we'll be right back with that.
Yep.
Okay, so we have the components of 7th Continent laid out in front of you, and we will go through them somewhat quick.
It's a card game. There's not much.
Yeah.
I mean, the bulk of this is going to be showing you what everything does in the next segment. So.
Yep. So let's go through the cards. The first type of cards are the adventure cards, which have green and gold backs.
Okay, so these are the adventure cards. These are what are going to form the majority of the map for you. The key to these are there could be multiple green cards. Well, there could be multiple yellow too. The key to it in the game is you have to take greens before you can take yellow. Gold. Sorry, Jeb, it's gold. You're right.
Next up are the exploration cards, and those are the cards with the foggy back.
Okay. These exploration cards, they have numbers in the corner that tell you where they're going to go as the map forms. Notice the arrows, so you always know where to put them when a card's revealed, but the gist of this is it's unseen. So when you reveal a new piece of a map, most likely there'll be spots where you put these face down, and there's numerous ones of them, so you basically you're not going to know what you're going to get when you flip it over, hence the foggy background.
Yep, and in the very center of it is an action that if you perform it, it lets you flip it over, so that's how you explore. The next cards are the action cards, and those are the ones with the blue backs.
Okay, so these are these action cards, again, like Jeb just said, they're all blue back. This deck of card is the entire party's life. So this is crucial to the game because how you move around the game is drawing from this deck. It's formed with a certain amount of, I think it's 35 regular action cards, and then there are these action cards which have a character face on them, and they're action cards. So each player that's playing the game will put their unique character card into this deck too.
And there's 5 of those per character.
Right. So So the deck will be a little bit thicker based on how many people are going to play.
And it adds some uniqueness for the
Yeah,
characters.
a little bit uniqueness.
Next up are the character cards.
So the character cards are like a, I don't know.
It's like your identity
gray.
kind
Well,
of.
I mean, I was trying to pick up color, gray, whatever.
They have a big face on them.
But yeah, they have a big face on them, and like Jeb said, they are your explorer for the game. They all have some sort of ability on them, and they have flavor text on the back, and they also have what your character looks like, so you can find your standee for them.
Then we have the Satchel and Journal card, which is shared for the entire party.
So this is this basically has some reminders for the game, and this is where you're going to collect clues and other such things. You can put them under the card, and you can refer to anything under this card during the game. It also has a nice little cheat sheet up here reminding you what your hand limits are for types of cards, and also how many items you are allowed to have personally during the game.
The clue cards are next.
Okay, so at the beginning of the game, you're going to pick a adventure / a clue, and you're going to take that clue. That will go under your satchel, and then you're going to take the curse cards that say Death is Lurking, which there are 4, and those are going to get put in here, and the curse that's specific to the adventure that you're playing. So that's how a curse / clue pile works. And you are allowed to pick more than one, but you're talking about a really long game if you do that.
And now the last kind of card is the save cards, which they're used for when you...
We're not going to totally get into this, but the save system is pretty cool in the game. So basically these are going to sit on top of different cards, and then you just stack them in the box, and then when you're ready to play again, you know exactly what each pile is for. So there's saving the action deck, saving your discard pile, and then these ones with dice on it let you remember how many uses you have left on your items.
Next up are the Explorer figures, or cut up.
So they're little standees of your figures. I don't remember if retail's going to come with it. The Kickstarter gave you miniatures.
And then there are also...
And there's like...
these little...
I'm not sure why they give you... I guess if you don't want those, there's numerous things you can use. So you're all set there.
There's also the fire figures, which there's 1 per player.
Yep, so you get a fire figure too, and there's also the miniature type.
Then there are the 6-sided die, which I think any kind of D6 could be used.
But they gave you cool little bone type ones in the game, which look pretty neat. I like them anyway, so it's pretty cool.
There are storing trays that come with the game.
This is what a tray looks like in the game. They're really nice, really convenient. They pop right out of the box. They have the numbered dividers for your card. There's also dividers for the Explorer cards, because like this has numeral 1, Roman numeral 1, and the box goes up to Roman numeral 10.
Really?
Yes, and I don't even have anything behind Roman numeral 10 yet.
For some reason I thought it only went up to 4.
So Jeb shouldn't think.
I was.
And so anyways, they did really nice with this. There isn't, and if there's enough room, if you can hear that and see it wobbling around, that you can sleeve these. They make sleeves in this size, so you could sleeve this entire thing if you wanted to.
There is a magnifying glass that came with the game.
Yep, that's pretty cool, because the cards are kind of tiny, and if you think you see something that you might want to look at, you just whoop, and there you go.
And the last thing is the double-sided holder for the action cards discard pile.
Okay, so here is the discard pile holder. There's actually the action deck discard is actually very, very important in this game. So Jeb and I would highly recommend that you do use this, or you keep the discard pile relatively far from the regular deck, so that stuff doesn't go back in until the appropriate time. They also give you, there's a little bit, depending on which side that you use, there's a little extra action under certain conditions that you can use.
And then I forgot about the player aids.
Yep. And then everybody has a cheat sheet, double-sided, tons of information on it. If you're looking at this and it looks a little bit overwhelming, all the different stuff kind of is a little overwhelming, but it's not necessary to know what everything is anyways. And you will pick up on the other things actually pretty quickly. So don't get freaked out about. And this side actually has more of the gameplay, and this actually has more of the legend / what the symbols mean. So that's about it for components to the Seventh Continent. So we're gonna in just a second we're gonna mess the table up again like we normally do, and we will get into the setup and gameplay, and well, not gameplay through, but we're gonna get through into mechanics. Is what I'm trying to say, and it's not coming out very well. And then you'll get to see how this stuff is supposed to work in a little more detail on the cards. If some of the stuff you're looking at going, oh, that doesn't make any sense. It's actually pretty intuitive.
All right, we are going to go through the setup for Seventh Continent. And before we actually start the setup, there's a note in the rule book that says, during setup, do not look at the front of any adventure or exploration cards, but you can look at all the other cards freely. So that's more of a thing, so you don't spoil like the gameplay.
Right. And so like when you're putting stuff out, you know, like, oh, I'm not supposed to look at the back yet.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing.
Alright, so let's begin setup. The first thing is each player is going to choose a character card and add that card to their hand.
Okay, so when we play, we're going to set up just as if, like, when you guys get to the gameplay section, as we're playing. So it's going to be Jeb, Mickey, and Hailey are playing. We've chosen Victor Frankenstein, Howard P. Lovecraft, and Dmitri Gorbachev. Okay, so those are our characters.
Each player is going to take their character's figure and one fire figure.
So there's one.
And as Mickey said earlier, on the back of those cards, they actually have a picture of the characters.
Right here. So I know, like, this is Lovecraft. He has like a little torch. Here's the guy with a little torch. You put those on it, and then on this guy, he has a green shirt and a club. I have the green shirt and club guy there, and fire token. So each person would, here, I'll pull this over to me. Hailey's going to probably play over there. Jeb will play that way. Alright?
Okay, next up you are going to place the satchel and journal card face up in front of one of the players.
So somebody will be in charge of this, which will most likely be Jeb, so I'll put this in front of Jeb.
Yep. And here there is an option if you want to make the game easier or harder, where you can search through and start with a certain number card. But that's something, your choice. We're not going to do that. We're just going to play a regular game. So next up is each player is going to take a number of dice based on the player count as shown on the satchel and journal card.
Alright, so go to the satchel journal card, go down to the number of players, for 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, stop here, look at the dice, everybody gets 2.
Alright, next up we are going to choose 1 or more clue cards and store them under the satchel and journal card.
Okay, so the clue card is basically choosing the adventure you're going to play.
Yep.
As I mentioned real quick in overview or introduction or whatever, you can put multiple. It's supposed to make the game ridiculously long. You're not even gonna be able to see a full game of us play anyways. And so we're only going to play with one clue card, but just wanted to let you know that you do have the option of putting more than one. We also are going to start with what they recommend in the rule book for your first adventure, which is called the Voracious Goddess. And so here is that clue card. So we take that. If you can see that, it's got like a picture of a map, and on the back side we have flavor text and how to start.
Next up, you are going to shuffle the following cards together to form the action deck.
Alright.
So first you want to take 35 skill cards.
Boom! How's that, Jeb?
That was fast.
I know, right? It's like I had it ready to go.
I wouldn't have believed it if I haven't seen it.
So one thing to note about that, though, real quick, is with the skill cards, so they kind of look like this on one side. Just in case you happen to have a set that may be messed up, there are advanced skill cards, and the way that you tell the difference is up in the corner there. There's a number by the this hand symbol. So if there's a number there, that's not supposed to be in the deck when you start, unless there's some kind of card or rule or something that lets you do it. But in general, you just start with the basic stuff.
Yep, and those 35 cards all have the blue hand in the top corner.
Yes,
so.
Right. Yep, all blue.
And then next up, you are going to take the 5 skill cards that are specific to each player and then add them to the, you find them first. So
you're gonna find, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Lovecrafts, 5 Frankenstein, and 5 Dimitri, and they also will get shuffled into this deck. I'm not gonna shuffle real great. You get the idea.
Yep. Then you're going to add the curse card that is associated with the specific curse that you're fighting.
Okay. So then I have a curse, and it says the Voracious Goddess, so that's going in.
And then you are going to add 4 curse cards that are titled Death is Lurking.
Alright, and then we have exactly the same Death is Lurking curse cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and those will also get shuffled in here.
So now you have...
and now we have, this is now the action deck, which represents your life in this game.
Next up, if you have it, assemble the discard pile holder and place it next to the action deck.
So, this is not how we're going to have it set up when you watch us play, but something like this, or whatever side that you want, but just, that's discard, don't put the cards in there to start.
Next up, you are going to you're going to sort all the gray exploration cards by area, and that's the Roman numerals. So
we have one of their nice little containers here. They're already all separated. There's Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. All the cards, as you can see, have been separated, and so those are good to go.
Alright, then you're going to sort the green and gold adventure cards in ascending order.
Again, and by the way, these are already sorted. You can see they have, like this is up to 50, and this is to 100, and etc., etc. The game comes so that when you're opening the packages, it's not like a horrible process to go through and sort all these cards. For the most part, you just find the appropriate pile, and they're all in order, and you just got to make sure you don't mess, the back of one with the front of the other, and that's it. You're good to go.
And the important thing with those is all the green cards are placed in front of any gold cards.
Yes.
Next up, you're going to take the adventure card indicated on the clue card that you have chosen and read the flavor text on the back, and then it will also tell you how to set up the adventure.
So what they're talking about there is after the flavor text in the clue card, down at the bottom here, I will read it to you. It says, begin the adventure by putting card 10, the A10 card into play. So indicating that if there's more, then you pick one randomly. Each player places their figure onto it. So there's nothing special after we've picked that card. So I will go into the nifty little container here, and I will go up to... Oh, I'm at 11. Oh, look. There's a 10. And there's only one green 10. So I'll get that out. And just because I can, I'll read it to you. Thick columns of yellowish smoke rise up from the cracks in the volcanic rock to the east. The peaks of a rocky cliff look down, mocking the ocean below. So, that's the back of that. And we flip it over, and if you'll notice, we have what looks like a bunch of cliffs or something there. Alright? And we're all... Oh, sorry. Good job, Jim. And put our characters on there.
Okay. Next up, you will place exploration cards, the foggy side up, next to any of the orange arrow things that are on the terrain tile.
So what Jeb's talking about there are these, and inside these circles with the little arrows, they're orangish in color, like Jeb said, is a Roman numeral. So we go to those foggy things with that Roman numeral, and we randomly pick some, and that's it. That's all you do with those.
And then after that, you are going to read the introduction text on page 2 of the rulebook, and then also the text on the clue that you selected. I believe it's on the back of this card.
Yep.
There's some stuff to
There's
read.
some flavor on that too, yep.
And then you are able to begin.
Right. So that is literally it for setting up the game. We will get to mechanics in just a moment.